Keep your face always toward the sunshine, and shadows will fall behind you. I am as bad as the worst, but, thank God, I am as good as the best. Let your soul stand cool and composed before a million universes. I have learned that to be with those I like is enough. Every moment of light and dark is a miracle. I no doubt deserve my enemies, but I don't believe I deserve my friends. The art of art, the glory of expression and the sunshine of the light of letters, is simplicity. Oh, while I live, to be the ruler of life, not a slave, to meet life as a powerful conqueror, and nothing exterior to me will ever take command of me. After you have exhausted what there is in business, politics, conviviality, and so on, have found that none of these finally satisfy or permanently wear, what remains? Nature remains. I heard what was said of the universe, heard it and heard it of several thousand years. It is middling well as far as it goes, but is that all? Seeing, hearing, feeling, are miracles, and each part and tag of me is a miracle. The beauty of independence, departure, actions that rely on themselves. Stranger, if you passing meet me and desire to speak to me, why should you not speak to me? And why should I not speak to you? And your very flesh shall be a great poem. There is that indescribable freshness and unconsciousness about an illiterate person that humbles and mocks the power of the noblest expressive genius. The whole theory of the universe is directed unerringly to one single individual. I exist as I am, that is enough. The real war will never get in the books. The future is no more uncertain than the present. Have you heard that it was good to gain the day? I also say it is good to fall. Battles are lost in the same spirit in which they are won. Freedom, to walk free and own no superior. Let that which stood in front go behind, let that which was behind advance to the front, let bigots, fools, unclean persons, offer new propositions. Let the old propositions be postponed. There is no week nor day nor hour when tyranny may not enter upon this country, if the people lose their roughness and spirit of defiance. The genius of the United States is not best or most in its executives or legislatures, nor in its ambassadors or authors or colleges, or churches, or parlors, nor even in its newspapers or inventors, but always most in the common people. Behold, I do not give lectures or a little charity, when I give myself. Do I contradict myself? Very well, then I contradict myself. I am large, I contain multitudes. Viewed freely, the English language is the accretion and growth of every dialect, race, and range of time, and is both the free and compacted composition of all. Give me odorous at sunrise a garden of beautiful flowers where I can walk undisturbed. I say to mankind, be not curious about God. For I, who am curious about each, am not curious about God. I hear and behold God in every object, yet understand God not in the least. Re-examine all that you have been told, dismiss that which insults your soul. I see great things in baseball. It's our game, the American game. I accept reality and dare not question it. Now I see the secret of making the best person. It is to grow in the open air and to eat and sleep with the earth. A morning glory at my window satisfies me more than the metaphysics of books. If anything is sacred, the human body is sacred. And I will show that nothing can happen more beautiful than death. And whoever walks a furlong without sympathy walks to his own funeral dressed in his shroud. All faults may be forgiven of him who has perfect candor. The dirtiest book of all is the expurgated book. I cannot be awake for nothing looks to me as it did before, or else I am awake for the first time, and all before has been a mean sleep. Have you learned the lessons only of those who admired you, and were tender with you, and stood aside for you? Have you not learned great lessons from those who braced themselves against you, and disputed passage with you? I believe a leaf of grass is no less than the journey work of the stars. I may be as bad as the worst, but, thank God, I am as good as the best. To have great poets, there must be great audiences. The shallow consider liberty a release from all law, from every constraint. The wise man sees in it, on the contrary, the potent law of laws. A great city is that which has the greatest men and women. In the confusion we stay with each other, happy to be together, speaking without uttering a single word. Why are there trees I never walk under but large and melodious thoughts descend upon me? Whoever degrades another degrades me, and whatever is done or said returns at last to me. Speech is the twin of my vision, it is unequal to measure itself, it provokes me forever, it says sarcastically, Walt, you contain enough, why don't you let it out then? I find no sweeter fat than sticks to my own bones. And there is no trade or employment but the young man following it may become a hero. Henceforth I ask not good fortune. I myself am good fortune. The United States themselves are essentially the greatest poem. Judging from the main portions of the history of the world, so far, justice is always in jeopardy. To the real artist in humanity, what are called bad manners are often the most picturesque and significant of all. O public road, I say back I am not afraid to leave you, yet I love you, you express me better than I can express myself. I say that democracy can never prove itself beyond cavil, until it founds and luxuriantly grows its own forms of art, poems, schools, theology, displacing all that exists, or that has been produced anywhere in the past, under opposite influences. Here or henceforward it is all the same to me, I accept time absolutely. The proof of a poet is that his country absorbs him as affectionately as he has absorbed it. The words of my book nothing, the drift of it everything. He most honors my style who learns under it to destroy the teacher. There is no object so soft but it makes a hub for the wheeled universe. The great city is that which has the greatest man or woman. If it be a few ragged huts, it is still the greatest city in the whole world. Other lands have their vitality in a few, a class, but we have it in the bulk of our people. To die is different from what anyone supposed, and luckier. There is no object so soft but it makes a hub for the wheeled universe. What a devil art thou, poverty! How many desires, how many aspirations after goodness and truth, how many noble thoughts, loving wishes toward our fellows, beautiful imaginings thou hast crushed under thy heel, without remorse or pause. Be not ashamed, women. You are the gates of the body, and you are the gates of the soul. When I heard the learned astronomer, when the proofs, the figures, were ranged in columns before me, when I was shown the charts and the diagrams, to add, divide, and measure them, when I, sitting, heard the astronomer, where he lectured with much I in this mystery, here we stand. O lands! O, all so dear to me, what you are, I become part of that, whatever it is. If anything is sacred, the human body is sacred. Have you heard that it was good to gain the day? I also say it is good to fall. Battles are lost in the same spirit in which they are won. Peace is always beautiful, the myth of heaven indicates peace and night. Wisdom is not finally tested in the schools, Wisdom cannot be passed from one having it to another not having it. Wisdom is of the soul, is not susceptible of proof, is its own proof. When I, sitting, heard the astronomer, where he lectured with such applause in the lecture room, how soon, unaccountable, I became tired and sick, till rising and gliding out, I wandered off by myself, in the mystical moist night air, and from time to time, looked up in perfect silence at the stars. To me every hour of the light and dark is a miracle. Every cubic inch of space is a miracle. To have great poets, there must be great audiences too. I sound my barbaric yawp over the roofs of the world. I shall use America and democracy as convertible terms. Seeing, hearing and feeling are miracles, and each part and tag of me is a miracle. Do you know that old age may come after you with equal grace, force, fascination? They do not sweat and whine about their condition, they do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins, they do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. Not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania of owning things, not one kneels to another, nor to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Do I contradict myself? Very well, then I contradict myself. I am large, I contain multitudes. Youth, large, lusty, loving, youth, full of grace, force, fascination. Do you know that old age may come after you with equal grace, force, fascination? Not I, not anyone else, can travel that road for you, you must travel it for yourself. In the faces of men and women I see God, and in my own face in the glass, I find letters from God dropped in the street, and every one is signed by God's name. And I leave them where they are, for I know that wherever I go, others will punctually come forever and ever. Camarado, I give you my hand, I give you my love more precious than money, I give you myself before preaching or law, will you give me yourself? Behind this face that appears so impassive hell's tides continually run. Character and personal force are the only investments worth anything. I celebrate myself, and what I assume you shall assume, for every atom belonging to me as good belongs to you. I loaf and invite my soul, I lean and loaf at my ease, observing a spear of summer grass. I dote on myself, there is that lot of me and all so luscious. I cannot be awake for nothing looks to me as it did before, or else I am awake for the first time, and all before has been a mean sleep. The damp of the night drives deeper into my soul. The great poems, Shakespeare's included, are poisonous to the idea of the pride and dignity of the common man, the lifeblood of democracy. America's game has the snap, go, fling of the American atmosphere, belongs as much to our institutions, fits into them as significantly, as our constitutions, laws, is just as important in the sum total of our historic life. Have you reckoned 1,000 acres much? Have you reckoned the earth much? Have you practiced so long to learn to read? Have you felt so proud to get at the meaning of poems? A man is a great thing upon the earth and through eternity, but every jot of the greatness of man is unfolded out of woman. Out of the cradle endlessly rocking, out of the mocking bird's throat, the musical shuttle, a reminiscent sing. As to scenery, giving my own thought and feeling, while I know the standard claim is that Yosemite, Niagara Falls, the Upper Yellowstone and the like afford the greatest natural shows, I am not so sure but the prairies and plains, while less stunning at first sight, last longer, fill the aesthetic sense fuller, precede all the rest, and make North America's characteristic landscape. When lilacs last in the dooryard bloomed and the great star early drooped in the western sky in the night, I mourned, and yet shall mourn with ever-returning spring. Walt Whitman, a cosmos, of Manhattan the sun, turbulent, fleshy, sensual, eating, drinking and breeding, no sentimentalist, no stander above men and women or apart from them, no more modest than immodest. Manhattan streets with their powerful throbs, with beating drums as now, the endless and noisy chorus, the rustle and clank of muskets, even the sight of the wounded. Manhattan crowds, with their turbulent musical chorus. Manhattan faces and eyes forever for me. I think it is lost, but nothing is ever lost nor can be lost. Have you not learned the most in your life from those with whom you disagreed, those who saw it differently from you? The president eats dirt and excrement for his daily meals, likes it and tries to force it on the states. I keep thinking about you every few minutes all day. Human bodies are words, myriads of words. In the best poems reappears the body, man's or woman's, well-shaped, natural, gay, every part able, active, receptive, without shame or the need of shame. The whole purpose of the universe is unerringly aimed at one thing, you. The art of art, the glory of expression, is simplicity. Nothing is better than simplicity, and the sunlight of letters is simplicity. Nothing is better than simplicity. Nothing can make up for excess, or for the lack of definiteness. I dream in my dreams all the dreams of the other dreamers, and I become the other dreamers. The orchestra whirls me wider than Uranus flies, it wrenches such ardors from me I did not know I possessed them. I swear I think there is nothing but immortality. I have no mockings or arguments, I witness and wait. A murmuring, fateful, giant voice, out of the earth and sky, voice of a mighty dying tree in the redwood forest dense. He wood spirits came from their haunts of 1,000 years, to join the refrain, but in my soul I plainly heard, murmuring out of its myriad leaves, down from its lofty top, rising 200 feet high, out of its stalwart trunk and limbs, out of its foot-thick bark. That chant of the seasons in time, chant, not of the past only, but of the future. Sex contains all, bodies, souls, meanings, proofs, purities, delicacies, results, promulgations, songs, commands, health, pride, the maternal mystery, the seminal milk. All hopes, benefactions, bestowals, all the passions, loves, beauties, delights of the earth, all the governments, judges, gods, followed persons of the earth. These are contained in sex, as parts of itself, and justifications of itself. Everybody is writing, worst of all, writing poetry. It'd be better if the whole tribe of the scribblers, every damned one of us, were sent off somewhere with tool chests to do some honest work. From this hour, freedom. Going where I like, my own master. Storming, enjoying, planning, loving, cautioning, backing and filling, appearing and disappearing, I tread day and night such roads. The sum of all known value and respect, I add up in you, whoever you are. My spirit has passed in compassion and determination around the whole earth. I have looked for equals and lovers and found them ready for me in all lands. I think some divine rapport has equalized me with them. I believe in the flesh and the appetites, seeing, hearing, feeling, are miracles, and each part and tag of me is a miracle. Divine am I inside and out, and I make holy whatever I touch or am touched from, the scent of these armpits aroma finer than prayer, this head more than churches, Bibles, and all the creeds. Sure as the most certain sure, plumb in the uprights, well entretied, braced in the beams, stout as a horse, affectionate, haughty, electrical. I in this mystery here we stand. The road to wisdom is paved with excess. The mark of a true writer is their ability to mystify the familiar and familiarize the strange. Clear and sweet is my soul, clear and sweet is all that is not my soul. Dazzling and tremendous how quick the sunrise would kill me, if I could not now and always send sunrise out of me. I say the whole earth and all the stars in the sky are for religion's sake. I loaf and invite my soul. Liberty is to be subserved, whatever occurs. If the United States haven't grown poets, on any scale of grandeur, it is certain that they import, print, and read more poetry than any equal number of people elsewhere, probably more than the rest of the world combined. Poetry, like a grand personality, is a growth of many generations, many rare combinations. To have great poets, there must be great audiences too. All architecture is what you do to it when you look upon it. Copulation is no more foul to me than death is. Long enough have you dreamed contemptible dreams, now I wash the gum from your eyes, you must habit yourself to the dazzle of the light and of every moment of your life. God is a mean-spirited, pugnacious bully bent on revenge against his children for failing to live up to his impossible standards. We two boys together clinging, one the other never leaving, up and down the roads going, north and south excursions making, power enjoying, elbows stretching, fingers clutching, armed and fearless, eating, drinking, sleeping, loving. No law less than ourselves owning, sailing, soldiering, thieving, threatening, misers, menials, priests alarming, air breathing, water drinking. On the turf or the sea beach dancing, cities wrenching, ease scorning, statutes mocking, feebleness chasing, fulfilling our foray. I lean and loaf at my ease, observing a spear of summer grass. I act as the tongue of you, tied in your mouth. In mine it begins to be loosened. Apart from the pulling and hauling stands what I am, stands amused, complacent, compassionating, idle, unitary, looks down, is erect, or bends an arm on an impalpable certain rest, looking with side-curved head curious what will come next, both in and out of the game and watching and wondering at it. When I heard the learned astronomer, when the proofs, the figures, were ranged in columns before me, when I was shown the charts and the diagrams, to add, divide, and measure them, when I, sitting, heard the astronomer, where he lectured with much applause in the lecture room, how soon, unaccountable, I became tired and sick, till rising and gliding out, I wandered off by myself, in the mystical moist night air, and from time to time, looked up in perfect silence at the stars. Not one escaped to tell the fall of Alamo, the 150 are dumb yet at Alamo. There is no flaw or vacuum in the amount of the truth, but all is truth without exception, and henceforth I will go celebrate anything I see or am, and sing and laugh and deny nothing. Stop this day and night with me and you shall possess the origin of all poems, you shall possess the good of the earth and sun. There are millions of suns left, you shall no longer take things at second or third hand. Nor look through the eyes of the dead. Nor feed on the spectres in books, you shall not look through my eyes either, nor take things from me, you shall listen to all sides and filter them from yourself. The smallest sprout shows there is really no death, and if ever there was it led forward life, and does not wait at the end to arrest it. To me the sea is a continual miracle, the fishes that swim, the rocks, the motion of the waves, the ships, with men in them, what stranger miracles are there? Old age, the estuary that enlarges and spreads itself grandly as it pours into the great sea. What beauty there is in words, what a lurking curious charm in the soundsome words. What a devil art thou, poverty! How many desires, how many aspirations after goodness and truth, how many noble thoughts, loving wishes toward our fellows, beautiful imaginings thou hast crushed under thy heel, without remorse or pause. All beauty comes from beautiful blood and a beautiful brain. In nothing is there more evolution than the American mind. To speak in literature with the perfect rectitude and insouciance of the movements of animals and the unimpeachable of the sentiment of trees in the woods and grass by the roadside is the flawless triumph of art. I speak the password primeval, I give the sign of democracy. O America! Because you build for mankind, I build for you. I say no body of men are fit to make presidents, judges and generals, unless they themselves supply the best specimens of the same. And that supplying one or two such specimens illuminates the whole body for 1,000 years. Thunder on! Stride on! Democracy! Strike with vengeful stroke! An individual is as superb as a nation when he has the qualities which make a superb nation. When one reaches out to help another, he touches the face of God. What is commonest and cheapest and nearest and easiest is me going in for my chances, spending for vast returns, adorning myself to bestow myself on the first that will take me, not asking the sky to come down to my goodwill, scattering it freely forever. The city sleeps and the country sleeps, the living sleep for their time, the dead sleep for their time. The old husband sleeps by his wife and the young husband sleeps by his wife, and these tend inward to me, and I tend outward to them. And such as it is to be of these more or less I am, and of these one and all I weave the song of myself. This face is a dog's snout sniffing for garbage, snake's nest in that mouth, I hear the sibilant threat. Long and long has the grass been growing, long and long has the rain been falling, long has the globe been rolling round. I swear the earth shall surely be complete to him or her who shall be complete. The earth remains jagged and broken only to him or her who remains jagged and broken. All the things of the universe are perfect miracles, each as profound as any. Smile, O voluptuous cool-breathed earth. Earth of the slumbering and liquid trees. Earth of departed sunset. Earth of the mountains misty-topped. Earth of the vitreous pour of the full moon just tinged with blue. Earth of shine and dark mottling the tide of the river. Earth of the limpid gray of clouds brighter and clearer for my sake. Far-swooping elbowed earth. Rich apple-blossomed earth. Smile, for your lover comes. Love, that is day and night, love, that is sun and moon and stars, love, that is crimson, sumptuous, sick with perfume, no other words but words of love, no other thought but love. Those who love each other shall become invincible. Dearest comrades, all is over and long gone, but love is not over. Through the ample open door of the peaceful country barn, a sunlit pasture field, with cattle and horses feeding, and haze, and vista, and the far horizon, fading away. I exist as I am, that is enough, if no other in the world be aware, I sit content, and if each and all be aware, I sit content. I dance with the dancers. The strongest and sweetest song remains to be sung. People who serve you without love get even behind your back. Comer adieu, this is no book, who touches this, touches a man, is it night? Are we here alone? It is I you hold, and who holds you, I spring from the pages into your arms, decease calls me forth. To the garden of the world anew descending, potent mates, daughters, sons, preluding, the love, the life of their bodies, meaning and being. Curious here behold my resurrection after slumber, the revolving cycles in their wide sweep having brought me again, amorous, mature, all beautiful to me, all wondrous. My limbs and the quivering fire that ever plays through them, for reasons, most wondrous, existing I peer and penetrate still, content with the present, content with the past, by my side or back of me Eve following, or in front, and I following her just the same. Give me juicy autumnal fruit, ripe and red from the orchard. The Americans, like the English, probably make love worse than any other race. Joy, shipmate, joy. Please to my soul at death I cry, our life is closed, our life begins, the long, long anchorage we leave, the ship is clear at last, she leaps. She swiftly courses from the shore, joy, shipmate, joy. From this hour I ordain myself loosed of limits and imaginary lines. Going where I list, my own master, total and absolute. Listening to others, and considering well what they say. Pausing, searching, receiving, contemplating. Gently but with undeniable will, divesting myself of the holds that would hold me. Well, every man has a religion, has something in heaven or earth which he will give up everything else for, something which absorbs him, which may be regarded by others as being useless, yet it is his dream, it is his lodestar, it is his master. That, whatever it is, seized upon me, made me its servant, slave, induced me to set aside the other ambitions, a trail of glory in the heavens, which I followed with a full heart. When once I am convinced, I never let go. Life doesn't give you the people you want, it gives you the people you need, to love you, to hate you, to make you, to break you, and to make you the person you were meant to be. Re-examine all you have been told in school and in church or in any book, dismiss what insults your own soul, and your very flesh shall be a great poem. Now, dearest comrade, lift me to your face, we must separate a while here. Take from my lips this kiss. Whoever you are, I give it especially to you. So long, and I hope we shall meet again. In this broad earth of ours, amid the measureless grossness and the slag, enclosed and safe within its central heart, nestles the seed of perfection. Of two simple men I saw today on the pier in the midst of the crowd, parting the parting of dear friends, the one to remain hung on the other's neck and passionately kissed him, while the one to depart tightly pressed the one to remain in his arms. I was in the midst of it all, saw war where war is worst, not on the battlefields, no, in the hospitals. There I mixed with it, and now I say God damn the wars, all wars, God damn every war, God damn M. God damn M. I see the President almost every day. I see very plainly Abraham Lincoln's dark brown face with its deep-cut lines, the eyes always to me with a deep latent sadness in the expression. None of the artists or pictures has caught the deep, though subtle and indirect expression of this man's face. There is something else there. One of the great portrait painters of 2 or 3 centuries ago is needed. I will go to the bank by the wood and become undisguised and naked. I know I am deathless. We have thus far exhausted trillions of winters and summers, there are trillions ahead, and trillions ahead of them. The purpose of democracy, supplanting old belief in the necessary absoluteness of established dynastic rulership, temporal, ecclesiastical, and scholastic, as furnishing the only security against chaos, crime, and ignorance, is, through many transmigrations, and amid endless ridicules, arguments, and ostensible failures. O Captain, my Captain! Our fearful trip is done, the ship has weathered every wrack, the prize we sought is won. Do you see, O my brothers and sisters? It is not chaos or death, it is form, union, plan, it is eternal life, it is happiness. Comrades mine and I in the midst, and their memory ever to keep for the dead I loved so well. As for me, I know nothing else but miracles, whether I walk the streets of Manhattan, or dart my sight over the roofs of houses toward the sky, or wade with naked feet along the beach just in the edge of the water, or stand under the trees in the woods, or talk by day with anyone I love, or sleep in bed at night with anyone I love, or watch honey bees busy around the hive of a summer forenoon, or the wonderfulness of the sundown, or of stars shining so quiet and bright, or the exquisite delicate thin curve of the new moon in spring. What stranger miracles are there? O earth, that hast no voice, confide to me a voice. O harvest of my lands! O boundless summer growths! O lavish, brown, parturient earth! O infinite, teeming womb! A verse to seek, to see, to narrate thee. In all people I see myself, none more, and not one a barleycorn less, and the good or bad I say of myself, I say of them. Praised be the fathomless universe, for life and joy, and for objects and knowledge curious. I cannot too often repeat that democracy is a word the real gist of which still sleeps, quite unawakened, notwithstanding the resonance and the many angry tempests out of which its syllables have come, from pen or tongue. It is a great word, whose history, I suppose, remains unwritten because that history has yet to be enacted. Perhaps the efforts of the true poets, founders, religions, literatures, all ages, have been, and ever will be, our time and times to come, essentially the same, to bring people back from their present strayings and sickly abstractions, to the costless, average, divine, original concrete. Future years will never know the seething hell in the black infernal background, the countless minor scenes and interiors of the secession war. And it is best they should not. The real war will never get in the books. I will write the evangel poem of comrades and of love. Great is the faith of the flush of knowledge and of the investigation of the depths of qualities and things. How beggarly appear arguments before a defiant deed! Exact science and its practical movements are no checks on the greatest poet, but always his encouragement and support. The sailor and traveler, the anatomist, chemist, astronomer, geologist, phrenologist, spiritualist, mathematician, historian and lexicographer are not poets, but they are the lawgivers of poets, and their construction underlies the structure of every perfect poem. This dust was once the man, gentle, plain, just and resolute, under whose cautious hand, against the foulest crime in history known in any land or age, was saved the union of these states. Women sit or move to and fro, some old, some young, the young are beautiful but the old are more beautiful than the young. I have heard what the talkers were talking, the talk of the beginning and the end, but I do not talk of the beginning or the end. Shut not your doors to me, proud libraries. Why should I wish to see God better than this day? I see something of God each hour of the 24, and each moment then, in the faces of men and women I see God, and in my own face in the glass. I find letters from God dropped in the street, and every one is signed by God's name, and I leave them where they are, for I know that others will punctually come forever and ever. Press close, bare-bosomed night. Press close, magnetic, nourishing night. Night of south winds. Night of the large, few stars. Still, nodding night. Mad, naked, summer night. Now I see that there is no such thing as love unreturned. The pay is certain, one way or another. Agonies are one of my changes of garments. I inhale great draught of space, the east and west are mine, and the north and south are mine, I am grander than I thought, I did not know I held so much goodness. You must not know too much or be too precise or scientific about birds and trees and flowers and watercraft, a certain free margin, or even vagueness, ignorance, credulity, helps your enjoyment of these things. I will not descend among professors and capitalists. I pass death with the dying and birth with the new-washed babe, and am not contained between my hat and my boots. And I will show that there is no imperfection in the present, and can be none in the future. And I will show that whatever happens to anybody it may be turned to beautiful results, and I will show that nothing can happen more beautiful than death. And I will thread a thread through my poems that time and events are compact, and that all the things of the universe are perfect miracles, each as profound as any. Are you the new person drawn toward me? This hour I tell things in confidence I might not tell everybody, but I will tell you. I henceforth tread the world, chaste, temperate, an early riser, a steady grower. The question, O me, so sad, recurring, what good amid these, O me, O life, that you are here, that life exists and identity, that the powerful play goes on, and you may contribute a verse. I have said that the soul is not more than the body, and I have said that the body is not more than the soul, and nothing, not God, is greater to one than oneself is. I find letters from God dropped in the street, and every one is signed by God's name. A perfect writer would make words sing, dance, kiss, do the male and female act, bear children, weep, bleed, rage, stab, steal, fire cannon, steer ships, sack cities, charge with cavalry or infantry, or do anything that man or woman or the natural powers can do. When he whom I love travels with me or sits along while holding me by the hand, then I am charged with untold and untellable wisdom, I am silent, I require nothing further, I cannot answer the question of appearances or that of identity beyond the grave, but I walk or sit indifferent, I am satisfied, he a hold of my hand has completely satisfied me. All truths wait in all things, they neither hasten their own delivery nor resist it, they do not need the obstetric forceps of the surgeon. The insignificant is as big to me as any, what is less or more than a touch. I celebrate myself, and sing myself. The beautiful uncut hair of graves. I am for those who believe in loose delights, I share the midnight orgies of young men, I dance with the dancers and drink with the drinkers. A simple separate person is not contained between his hat and his boots. Whoever is not in his coffin in the dark grave, let him know he has enough. I bequeath myself to the dirt to grow from the grass I love. If you want me again, look for me under your boot soles. Surrounded, detached, in measureless oceans of space. I mind how once we lay such a transparent summer morning, how you settled your head athwart my hips and gently turned over upon me, and parted the shirt from my bosom bone, and plunged your tongue to my bare-stripped heart, and reached till you felt my beard, and reached till you held my feet. Silence. What can New York noisy, roaring, rumbling, tumbling, bustling, story, turbulent New York have to do with silence? Amid the universal clatter, the incessant din of business, the all-swallowing vortex of the great money whirlpool, who has any, even distant, idea of the profound repose, of silence? I wear my hat as I please, indoors or out. I have perceived that to be with those I like is enough, to stop in company with the rest at evening is enough, to be surrounded by beautiful, curious, breathing, laughing flesh is enough, to pass among them, or touch any one, or rest my arm ever so lightly round his or her neck for a moment. What is this, then? I do not ask any more delight, I swim in it, as in a sea. I think it is lost, but nothing is ever lost nor can be lost. The body sluggish, aged, cold, the ember left from earlier fires shall duly flame again. Only themselves understand themselves and the like of themselves, as souls only understand souls. When the materials are ready, the architects shall appear. Re-examine all you have been told at school or church or in any book, dismiss whatever insults your own soul, and your very flesh shall be a great poem, and have the richest fluency, not only in its words, but in the silent lines of its lips and face, and between the lashes of your eyes, and in every motion and joint of your body. There was a child went forth every day, and the first object he looked upon, that object he became. A word of the faith that never balks, here or henceforward it is all the same to me, I accept time absolutely. It alone is without flaw, it alone rounds and completes all, that mystic baffling wonder alone completes all. Youth, large, lusty, loving, youth, full of grace, force, fascination. Do you know that old age may come after you with equal grace, force, fascination? The past, the dark unfathomed retrospect. The teeming gulf, the sleepers and the shadows. The past. The infinite greatness of the past. For what is the present after all but a growth out of the past? My words itch at your ears till you understand them. Once I passed through a populous city imprinting my brain for future use with its shows, architecture, customs, traditions. Yet now of all that city I remember only a woman I casually met there who detained me for love of me. Day by day and night by night we were together, all else has long been forgotten by me. I remember, I say, only that woman who passionately clung to me, again we wander. We love, we separate again, again she holds me by the hand, I must not go, I see her close beside me with silent lips sad and tremulous. To the States or any one of them, or any city of the States, resist much, obey little, once unquestioning obedience, once fully enslaved, no nation, state, city of this earth, ever afterward resumes its liberty. But where is what I started for so long ago? And why is it yet unfound? I am of old and young, of the foolish as much as the wise, regardless of others, ever regardful of others, maternal as well as paternal, a child as well as a man, stuffed with the stuff that is coarse, and stuffed with the stuff that is fine. Do you guess I have some intricate purpose? Well, I have, for the 4th month showers have, and the mica on the side of a rock has. Sometimes with one I love, I fill myself with rage, for fear I effuse unreturned love, but now I think there is no unreturned love, the pay is certain, one way or another. I loved a certain person ardently, and my love was not returned, yet out of that, I have written these songs. Be not disheartened, affection shall solve the problems of freedom yet, those who love each other shall become invincible. For we cannot tarry here, we must march my darlings, we must bear the brunt of danger, we, the youthful sinewy races, all the rest on us depend, pioneers. O pioneers! Oh, the joy of my spirit, it is uncaged, it darts like lightning. It is not enough to have this globe or a certain time, I will have thousands of globes and all time. You will hardly know who I am or what I mean. Unscrew the locks from the doors. Unscrew the doors themselves from their jambs. I meet new Walt Whitmans every day. There are a dozen of them afloat. I don't know which Walt Whitman I am. I will you, in all, myself, with promise to never desert you, to which I sign my name. What do you think has become of the young and old men? And what do you think has become of the women and children? They are alive and well somewhere, the smallest sprout shows there is really no death, and if ever there was it led forward life, and does not wait at the end to arrest it, and ceased the moment life appeared. All goes onward and outward, nothing collapses, and to die is different from what anyone supposed, and luckier. O Captain, my Captain! Now I will do nothing but listen to accrue what I hear into this song, to let sounds contribute toward it. I hear the sound I love, the sound of the human voice. I hear all sounds running together. A woman waits for me, she contains all, nothing is lacking, yet all were lacking if sex were lacking, or if the moisture of the right man were lacking. Great is youth, equally great is old age, great are day and night. Great is wealth, great is poverty, great is expression, great is silence. I say you shall yet find the friend you were looking for. Forsake all inhibitions, pursue thy dreams. Whoever you are, motion and reflection are especially for you, the divine ship sails the divine sea for you. We also ascend dazzling and tremendous as the sun, we found our own, O my soul, in the calm and cool of the daybreak. To behold the day break. The little light fades the immense and diaphanous shadows, the air tastes good to my palate. I am the man, I suffered, I was there. I permit to speak at every hazard, nature without check with original energy. Ah, little recks the laborer, how near his work is holding him to God, the loving laborer through space and time. There can be no theory of any account unless it corroborate with the theory of the earth. Out of every fruition of success, no matter what, comes forth something to make a new effort necessary. Give me such shows, give me the streets of Manhattan. I am not contained between my hat and boots. The process of reading is not a half-sleep, but in the highest sense, an exercise, a gymnast's struggle, that the reader is to do something for him or herself, must be on the alert, just construct indeed the poem, argument, history, metaphysical essay, the text furnishing the hints, the clue, the start, the framework. Me imperturb, standing at ease in nature. A song of the good green grass. A song no more of the city streets, a song of farms, a song of the soil of fields. A song with the smell of sun-dried hay, where the nimble pitchers handle the pitchfork, a song tasting of new wheat and of fresh-husked maize. The ecstasy is so short, but the forgetting is so long. Roaming in thought over the universe, I saw the little that is good steadily hastening towards immortality, and the vast all that is called evil I saw hastening to merge itself and become lost and dead. I sing the body electric, the armies of those I love engirth me and I engirth them, they will not let me off till I go with them, respond to them, and discorrupt them, and charge them full with the charge of the soul. And a mouse is miracle enough to stagger sextillions of infidels. I am the poet of the woman the same as the man, and I say it is as great to be a woman as to be a man, and I say there is nothing greater than the mother of a man. Books are to be called for and supplied on the assumption that the process of reading is not a half-sleep, but in the highest sense an exercise, a gymnastic struggle, that the reader is to do something for himself. But the people are ungrammatical, untidy, and their sins gaunt and ill-bred. All music is what awakes from you when you are reminded by the instruments. To me, Every hour of the light and dark is a miracle, every inch of space is a miracle, every square yard of the surface of the earth is spread with the same. Every cubic foot of the interior swarms with the same, every spear of grass the frames, limbs, organs, of men and women, and all that concerns them. All these to me are unspeakably perfect miracles. All truths wait in all things, they neither hasten their own delivery nor resist it. Camden was originally an accident, but I shall never be sorry I was left over in Camden. It has brought me blessed returns. The jour printer with grey head and gaunt jaws works at his case. He turns his quid of tobacco, while his eyes blur with the manuscript. Lo! Body and soul, this land. Mighty Manhattan, with spires, and the sparkling and hurrying tides, and the ships, the varied and ample land, the south and the north in the light Ohio shores, and flashing Missouri, and ever the far-spreading prairies, covered with grass and corn. Manhattan crowds, with their turbulent musical chorus. Manhattan faces and eyes forever for me. Sure as the most certain sure. Plumb in the uprights, well entreated, braced in the beams, stout as a horse, affectionate, haughty, electrical. I in this mystery we stand. Clear and sweet is my soul. And clear and sweet is all that is not my soul, lack one lacks both. And the unseen is proved by the seen till that becomes unseen and receives proof in its turn. To elaborate is no avail. Learned and unlearned feel that it is so. Oh, amazement of things, even the least particle. My little notebooks were beginnings, they were the ground into which I dropped the seed. I would work in this way when I was out in the crowds, then put the stuff together at home. Seasons pursuing each other, the indescribable crowd is gathered, it is the 4th of 7th month, what salutes of cannon in small arms. Most works are most beautiful without ornament. My rule has been, so far as I could have any rule, I could have no cast iron rule, my rule has been, to write what I have to say the best way I can, then lay it aside, taking it up again after some time and reading it afresh, the mind new to it. If there's no jar in the new reading, well and good, that's sufficient for me. We arrange our lives, even the best and boldest men and women that exist, just as much as the most limited with reference to what society conventionally rules and makes right. O lands! Oh, all so dear to me, what you are, I become part of that, whatever it is. The female that loves unrequited sleeps, and the male that loves unrequited sleeps, the head of the money-maker that plotted all day sleeps, and the enraged and treacherous dispositions, all sleep. At times it has been doubtful to me if Emerson really knows or feels what poetry is at its highest, as in the Bible, for instance, or Homer or Shakespeare. I see he covertly or plainly likes best superb verbal polish or something old or odd. Logic and sermons never convince, the damp of the night drives deeper into my soul. Man is about the same, in the main, whether with despotism, or whether with freedom. Why are there men and women that while they are nigh me the sunlight expands my blood? Why when they leave me do my penance of joy sink flat and lank? Sweet, sane, still nakedness in nature. Ah, if poor, sick, prurient humanity in cities might really know you once more. Is not nakedness then indecent? No, not inherently. It is your thought, your sophistication, your fear, your respectability that is indecent. There come moods when these clothes of ours are not only too irksome to wear, but are themselves indecent. Perhaps indeed he or she to whom the free exhilarating ecstasy of nakedness in nature has never been eligible, and how many thousands there are, has not really known what purity is, nor what faith or art or health really is. There will soon be no more priests. They may wait a while, perhaps a generation or two, dropping off by degrees. A superior breed shall take their place. A new order shall arise, and they shall be the priests of man, and every man shall be his own priest. Day full-blown and splendid day of the immense sun, action, ambition, laughter, the night follows close with millions of suns, and sleep and restoring darkness. I know perfectly well my own egotism. Many a good man I have seen go under. Our leading men are not of much account and never have been, but the average of the people is immense, beyond all history. Sometimes I think in all departments, literature and art included, that will be the way our superiority will exhibit itself. We will not have great individuals or great leaders, but a great average bulk, unprecedentedly great. Beautiful that war and all its deeds of carnage, must in time be utterly lost. I see that I am to wait for what will be exhibited by death. That the hands of the sisters death and night incessantly softly wash again and ever again, this soiled world. Come lovely in soothing death, undulate round the world, serenely arriving, in the day, in the night, to all, to each, sooner or later, delicate death. I announce the great individual, fluid as nature, chaste, affectionate, compassionate, fully armed. I announce a life that shall be copious, vehement, spiritual, bold, and I announce an end that shall lightly and joyfully meet its translation. I see Hermes, unsuspected, dying, well-beloved, saying to the people, "Do not weep for me, this is not my true country. I have lived banished from my true country. I now go back there, I return to the celestial sphere where every one goes in his turn." The work for giants, to serve well the guns. Lo, The most excellent sun so calm and haughty, the violet and purple morn with just felt breezes, the gentle soft-born measureless light, the miracle-spreading bathing all, the fulfilled noon, the coming eve delicious, the welcome night and the stars, over my cities shining all, enveloping man and land. Of all mankind the great poet is the equable man. Not in him but off from him things are grotesque or eccentric or fail of their sanity. What stays with you latest and deepest? Of curious panics, of hard-fought engagements or sieges tremendous, what deepest remains? Where are your combing seas, your blue water, your rollers, your breakers, your whales, or your waterspouts, and your endless motion, in this bit of a forest, child? And if the body were not the soul, what is the soul? Do I contradict myself? Very well then, I can bear it. You want to know a sure way to lose money? Buy what's popular and don't know what you are investing in. I have sometimes thought that the laws ought not to punish those actions of evil which are committed when the senses are steeped in intoxication. More and more too, the old name absorbs into me. Mannahatta, the place encircled by many swift tides and sparkling waters. How fit a name for America's great democratic island city. The word itself, how beautiful. How aboriginal. How it seems to rise with tall spires, glistening in sunshine, with such new world atmosphere, vista and action. It is only the novice in political economy who thinks it is the duty of government to make its citizens happy. Government has no such office. Under the specious pretext of affecting the happiness of the whole community, nearly all the wrongs and intrusions of government has been carried through. Now understand me well. It is provided in the essence of things that from any fruition of success, no matter what, shall come forth something to make a greater struggle necessary. You road I enter upon and look around, I believe you are not all that is here, I believe much unseen is also here. And as summit and flower there is the feeling they have for each other, and they are to branch boundlessly out of that lesson until it becomes omnific, and until one and all shall delight us, and we them. I do not seek good fortune, I am good fortune. There will never be any more perfection than there is now. Strong and content I travel the open road. By writing at the instant, the very heartbeat of life is caught. All the past we leave behind, we debouch upon a newer, mightier world, varied world, fresh and strong the world we seize, world of labor and the march, pioneers. O pioneers! There was a child went forth every day, and the first object he looked upon and received with wonder or pity or dread, that object he became. And that object became part of him for the day or a certain part of the day, or for many years or stretching cycles of years. All music is what awakes from you when you are reminded by the instruments. It is not the violins and the cornets, it is not the oboe nor the beating drums, nor the score of the baritone singer singing his sweet romanza nor that of the women's chorus. It is nearer and farther than they. Love buds, put before you and within you, whoever you are, buds to be unfolded on the old terms. If you bring the warmth of the sun to them, they will open, and bring form, color, perfume, to you. If you become the aliment and the wet, they will become flowers, fruits, tall branches, and trees. I do not think 70 years is the time of a man or woman, nor that 70 millions of years is the time of a man or woman, nor that years will ever stop the existence of me, or anyone else. We all have great things on our bucket lists like skydiving, seeing the northern lights, etc., but what about simply falling in love? Isn't that the most amazing thing we can do? Keep your face always toward the sunshine. Everything could be worse, but isn't, and so we are justified in being grateful, and shadows. Everything could be better, but isn't, and so it is easy to be bitter unless you decide to look on the bright side will fall behind you. The soul is always beautiful, it appears more or it appears less, it comes or it lags behind. It comes from its embowered garden and looks pleasantly on itself and encloses the world. When I undertake to tell the best, I find I cannot. My tongue is ineffectual on its pivots, my breath will not be obedient to its organs, I become a dumb man. An electric chain seems to vibrate, as it were, between our brain and him or her, preserved there, in a daguerreotype, so well by the limner's cunning. Time, space, both are annihilated, and we identify the semblance with the reality. The past, the future, majesty, love, if they are vacant of you, you are vacant of them. I see behind each mask that wonder a kindred soul. A man can be a hero in any profession. I sing the body that is electric. I celebrate the self yet to be unveiled. O joy of suffering! To struggle against great odds. To meet enemies undaunted. To be entirely alone with them. To find how much one can stand. To look strife, torture, prison, popular odium, death, face to face. To mount the scaffold. To advance to the muzzles of guns with perfect nonchalance. To be indeed a god. My ties and ballasts leave me, I travel, I sail, my elbows rest in the sea gaps. I skirt the Sierras. My palms cover continents, I am afoot with my vision. And as to you, death, and you bitter hug of mortality, it is idle to try to alarm me. There's no doubt that I've deserved my enemies, but I don't think I've deserved my friends. Here is not merely a nation but a teeming nation of nations. The truest and greatest poetry, while subtly and necessarily always rhythmic, and distinguishable easily enough, can never again, in the English language, be expressed in arbitrary and rhyming meter, any more than the greatest eloquence, or the truest power and passion. Camerado. This is no book. Who touches this touches a man. I saw battle corpses, myriads of them, and the white skeletons of young men. I saw them. I saw the debris and debris of all the dead soldiers of the war. But I saw they were not as was thought, they themselves were fully at rest. They suffered not, the living remained, and suffered the mother suffered, and the wife and the child, and the musing comrade suffered, and the armies that remained suffered. Swiftly arose and spread around me the peace and knowledge that pass all the argument of the earth, and I know that the hand of God is the promise of my own, and I know that the Spirit of God is the brother of my own, and that all the men ever born are also my brothers, and the women my sisters and lovers, and that a kelson of the creation is love. And I will show of male and female that either is but the equal of the other. We consider Bibles and religions divine. I do not say they are not divine. I say they have all grown out of you, and may grow out of you still. It is not they who give the life, it is you who give the life. Over all the sky, far, far out of reach, studded with eternal stars. You linger to see his back, and the back of his neck and shoulder side, the bending forward and backward of the rowers. I dote on myself. There is a lot of me and all so luscious. For all these new and evolutionary facts, meanings, purposes, new poetic messages, new forms and expressions, are inevitable. Every cubic inch of space is a miracle. Will you seek afar off? You surely come back at last, in things best known to you, finding the best, or as good as the best, in folks nearest to you, finding the sweetest, strongest, lovingest. Happiness, knowledge, not in another place, but this place, not for another hour, but this hour. I open my scuttle at night and see the far-sprinkled systems, all I see multiplied as high as I can cipher edge but the rim of the farther systems. Wider and wider they spread, expanding, always expanding, outward and forever outward. What has miserable, inefficient Mexico to do with the great mission of peopling the new world with a noble race? Once fully enslaved, no nation, state, city of this earth ever afterward resumes its liberty. I do not doubt but the majesty and beauty of the world are latent in any iota of the world. I do not doubt there is far more in trivialities, insects, vulgar persons, slaves, dwarfs, weeds, rejected, refused than I have supposed. If there were nothing else of Abraham Lincoln for history to stamp him with, it is enough to send him with his wreath to the memory of all future time, that he endured that hour, that day, bitterer than gall, indeed a crucifixion day, that it did not conquer him, that he unflinchingly stemmed it, and resolved to lift himself and the Union out of it. Strange, is it not, that battles, martyrs, blood, even assassination should so condense, perhaps only really lastingly condense, a nationality. It is a beautiful truth that all men contain something of the artist in them, and perhaps it is the case that the greatest artists live and die, the world and themselves alike ignorant what they possess. I swear I will never henceforth have to do with the faith that tells the best. I will have to do only with that faith that leaves the best untold. Americans should know the universe itself as a road, as many roads, as roads for traveling souls. Oh, the joy of my spirit, it is uncaged, it darts like lightning. Re-examine all you have been told in school or church or in any book and dismiss whatever insults your own soul. It is also not consistent with the reality of the soul to admit that there is anything in the known universe more divine than men and women. The Master knows that he is unspeakably great and that all are unspeakably great. There will soon be no more priests. They may wait a while, perhaps a generation or two, dropping off by degrees. A superior breed shall take their place. A new order shall arise, and they shall be the priests of man, and every man shall be his own priest. Wisdom is not finally tested in schools. Wisdom cannot be passed from one having it to another not having it. Wisdom is of the soul, is not susceptible of proof, is its own proof, applies to all stages and objects and qualities and is content, is the certainty of the reality and immortality of things, and the excellence of things. Something there is in the float of the sight of things that provokes it out of the soul. Something there is more immortal even than the stars. Was it doubted that those who corrupt their own bodies conceal themselves? So here I sit in the early candlelight of old age, I and my book casting backward glances over out-traveled road. You will hardly know who I am or what I mean, but I shall be good health to you nevertheless, and filter and fibre your blood. Failing to fetch me at first, keep encouraged, missing me one place, search another, I stop somewhere waiting for you. This is the city, and I am one of the citizens. Whatever interests the rest interests me. Surely whoever speaks to me in the right voice, him or her shall I follow. Oh, the joy of the strong brawn fighter, towering in the arena in perfect condition, conscious of power, thirsting to meet his opponent. The wild gander leads his flock through the cool night, "Ya honk," he says, and sounds it down to me like an invitation. The pert may suppose it meaningless, but I listen closer, I find its purpose and place up there toward the November sky. Battles are lost in the same spirit in which they are won. I hear America singing, the varied carols I hear. I dreamed in a dream, I saw a city invincible to the attacks of the whole of the rest of the earth. I dreamed that was the new city of friends. Nothing was greater there than the quality of robust love. It led the rest. It was seen every hour in the actions of the men of that city, and in all their looks and words. In the dooryard fronting an old farmhouse near the whitewashed palings, stands the lilac bush tall growing with heart-shaped leaves of rich green, with many a pointed blossom rising delicate, with the perfume strong I love, with every leaf a miracle, and from this bush in the dooryard, with delicate colored blossoms and heart-shaped leaves of rich green, a sprig with its flower I break. I see great things in baseball. It's our game, the American game. It will take our people out of doors, fill them with oxygen, give them a larger physical stoicism, tend to relieve us from being a nervous, dyspeptic set, repair these losses, and be a blessing to us. The press of my foot to the earth springs 100 affections. Not I, nor anyone else can travel that road for you. You must travel it by yourself. It is not far. It is within reach. Perhaps you have been on it since you were born, and did not know. Perhaps it is everywhere, on water and land. Pointing to another world will never stop vice among us. Shedding light over this world can alone help us. Why who makes much of a miracle? As to me I know nothing else but miracles, whether they be animals feeding in the fields, or birds, or the wonderfulness of insects in the air, or the wonderfulness of the sundown, or of stars shining so quiet and bright, or the exquisite delicate thin curve of the new moon in spring. These, with the rest, one and all, are to me miracles. Sail forth, steer for the deep waters only. Reckless, O soul, exploring. I with thee and thou with me. For we are bound where mariner has not yet dared go, and we will risk the ship, ourselves, and all. You have not known what you are, you have slumbered upon yourself all your life. Your eyelids have been the same as closed most of the time. What you have done returns already in mockeries. Your thrift, knowledge, prayers, if they do not return in mockeries, what is their return? The mockeries are not you, underneath them, and within them, I see you lurk. I am not to speak to you, I am to think of you when I sit alone or wake at night alone. I am to wait, I do not doubt I am to meet you again. I am to see to it that I do not lose you. I think of few heroic actions, which cannot be traced to the artistical impulse. He who does great deeds, does them from his innate sensitiveness to moral beauty. The smallest sprout shows there is really no death. Day by day and night by night we were together, all else has long been forgotten by me. I am too not a bit tamed, I too am untranslatable, I sound my barbaric yawp over the roofs of the world. Where the earth is, we are. I give you my hand, I give you my love more precious than money, I give you myself before preaching or law, will you give me yourself? When I give myself. This is what you should do, love the earth and sun and the animals. I am satisfied. I see, dance, laugh, sing. All truths wait in all things. I sing the body electric. Peace is always beautiful. I refuse putting from me the best that I am. I am larger, better than I thought, I did not know I held so much goodness. I am large, I contain multitudes. I hear and behold God in every object, yet understand God not in the least. Failing to fetch me at first, keep encouraged. Missing me one place, search another. I stop somewhere waiting for you. Afoot and light-hearted I take to the open road, healthy, free, the world before me. There is no God any more divine than yourself. Oh, to speed where there is space enough and air enough at last. I am an acme of things accomplished, and I am an encloser of things to be. And as to me, I know nothing else but miracles. Afoot and light-hearted I take to the open road. Healthy, free, the world before me. The long brown path before me leading me wherever I choose. Henceforth, I ask not good fortune, I myself am good fortune. Henceforth, I whimper no more, postpone no more, need nothing. And I or you pocketless of a dime, may purchase the pick of the earth. The best writing has no lace on its sleeves. I tramp a perpetual journey. These are the days that must happen to you. The powerful play goes on and you may contribute a verse. The earth, that is sufficient, I do not want the constellations any nearer, I know they are very well where they are, I know they suffice for those who belong to them. Nothing can happen more beautiful than death. With music strong I come, with my cornets and my drums, I play not marches for accepted victors only, I play marches for conquered and slain persons. Have you heard that it was good to gain the day? I also say it is good to fall, battles are lost in the same spirit in which they are won. I beat and pound for the dead, I blow through my embouchures my loudest and gayest for them. Long have you timidly waited holding a plank by the shore, now I will you to be a bold swimmer, to jump off in the midst of the sea, rise again, nod to me, shout, and laughingly dash with your hair. Produce great men, the rest follows. I celebrate myself, and sing myself, and what I assume you shall assume, for every atom belonging to me as good belongs to you. I know nothing grander, better exercise, better digestion, more positive proof of the past, the triumphant result of faith in humankind, than a well-contested American national election. My call is the call of battle, I nourish active rebellion, he going with me must go well armed. If you want me again, look for me under your boot soles. Touch me, touch the palm of your hand to my body as I pass, be not afraid of my body. Stop this day and night with me and you shall possess the origin of all poems. Oh, to be alive in such an age, when miracles are everywhere, and every inch of common air robs a tremendous prophecy, of greater marvels yet to be. To drive free, to love free, to court destruction with taunts, to feed the remainder of life with 1 hour of fullness and freedom, 1 brief hour of madness and joy. A woman waits for me, she contains all, nothing lacking. O me! O life! Of the questions of these recurring, of the endless trains of the faithless, of cities filled with the foolish, what good amid these, O me, O life? I discover myself on the verge of a usual mistake. If you done it, it ain't bragging. Note, today, an instructive, curious spectacle and conflict. Science, twin, in its fields, of democracy in its science, testing absolutely all thoughts, all works, has already burst well upon the world, a sun, mounting, most illuminating, most glorious, surely never again to set. But against it, deeply entrenched, holding possession, yet remains, not only through the churches and schools, but by imaginative literature, and unregenerate poetry, the fossil theology of the mythic materialistic, superstitious, untaught and credulous, fable-loving, primitive ages of humanity. There's a man in the world who is never turned down, whatever he chances to stray, he gets the glad hand in the populous town, or out where the farmers makes hay. He's greeted with pleasure on deserts of sand, and deep in the aisles of the woods, wherever he goes there's a welcoming hand. He's the man who delivers the goods. What do you suppose will satisfy the soul, except to walk free and own no superior? I love doctors and hate their medicine. The eager and often inconsiderate appeals of reformers and revolutionists are indispensable to counterbalance the inertia and fossilism marking so large a part of human institutions. That's beautiful, the hurrah game. Well, it's our game, that's the chief fact in connection with it, America's game. Has the snap, go fling, of the American atmosphere, belongs as much to our institutions, fits into them as significantly as our constitutions, laws, is just as important in the sum total of our historic life. Nothing endures but personal qualities. The gift is to the giver, and comes back most to him, it cannot fail. O magnet South! O glistening perfumed South! My South! O quick metal, rich blood, impulse and love, good and evil, O, all dear to me! Henceforth I whimper no more, postpone no more, need nothing, done with indoor complaints, libraries, querulous criticisms, strong and content I travel the open road. I think I will do nothing for a long time but listen, and accrue what I hear into myself, and let sound contribute toward me. The poet judges not as a judge judges but as the sun falling around a helpless thing. I like the scientific spirit, the holding off, the being sure but not too sure, the willingness to surrender ideas when the evidence is against them. This is ultimately fine, it always keeps the way beyond open. The greatest country, the richest country, is not that which has the most capitalists, monopolists, immense grabbings, vast fortunes, with its sad, sad soil of extreme, degrading, damning poverty, but the land in which there are the most homesteads, freeholds, where wealth does not show such contrasts high and low, where all men have enough, a modest living, and no man is made possessor beyond the sane and beautiful necessities. The earth is rude, silent, incomprehensible at first. Be not discouraged, keep on, there are divine things, well enveloped. I swear to you there are divine things more beautiful than words can tell. Give me solitude, give me nature, give me again, O nature, your primal sanities. There was never any more inception than there is now, nor any more youth or age than there is now, and will never be any more perfection than there is now, nor any more heaven or hell than there is now. Charity and personal force are the only investments worth anything. Oh, to be self-balanced for contingencies, to confront night, storms, hunger, ridicule, accidents, rebuffs, as the trees and animals do. Give me the splendid, silent sun with all his beams full dazzling. Whoever degrades another degrades me. What is that you express in your eyes? It seems to me more than all the print I have read in my life. Do anything, but let it produce joy. The secret of it all is to write in the gush, the throb, the flood of the moment, to put things down without deliberation, without worrying about their style, without waiting for a fit time or place. I always worked that way. I took the first scrap of paper, the first doorstep, the first desk, and wrote. By writing at the instant the very heartbeat of life is caught. I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self-contained, I stand and look at them long and long. Every hour of every day is an unspeakably perfect miracle. All is procession, the universe is a procession with measured and beautiful motion. We convince by our presence. O Captain! My Captain! Our fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every rack, the prize we sought is won, the port is near, the bells I hear, the people all exulting while follow eyes. The steady keel, the vessel grim and daring, but heart, heart, heart! Oh, the bleeding drops of red where on the deck my captain lies fallen cold and dead. The most affluent man is he that confronts all the shows he sees by equivalence out of the stronger wealth of himself. I think I could always live with animals. The more you're around people, the more you love animals. This is what you should do: love the earth and sun and the animals, despise riches, give alms to everyone that asks, stand up for the stupid and crazy, devote your income and labor to others, hate tyrants, argue not concerning God, have patience and indulgence toward the people, take off your hat to nothing known or unknown or to any man or number of men. Re-examine all you have been told at school or church or in any book, dismiss what insults your own soul, and your very flesh shall be a great poem. I will sleep no more but arise, you oceans that have been calm within me. How I feel you, fathomless, stirring, preparing unprecedented waves and storms. Oh, you whom I often and silently come where you are, that I may be with you, as I walk by your side, or sit near, or remain in the same room with you. Little you know the subtle electric fire that for your sake is playing within me. I too am not a bit tamed, I too am untranslatable. Loaf with me on the grass, loose the stop from your throat, not words, not music or rhyme I want, not custom or lecture, not even the best, only the lull I like, the hum of your valved voice. I swear to you, there are divine things more beautiful than words can tell. The mother condemned for a witch and burnt with dry wood, and her children gazing on, the hounded slave that flags in the race and leans by the fence, blowing and covered with sweat, the twinges that sting like needles his legs and neck, the murderous buckshot and the bullets, all these I feel or am. Wisdom is not finally tested by the schools, wisdom cannot be passed from one having it to another not having it, wisdom is of the soul, is not susceptible of proof, is its own proof. Now, voyager, sail thou forth, to seek and find. Some people are so much sunshine to the square inch. There is no place like it, no place with an atom of its glory, pride, and exultancy. It lays its hand upon a man's bowels, he grows drunk with ecstasy, he grows young and full of glory, he feels that he can never die. The earth does not argue, is not pathetic, has no arrangements, does not scream, haste, persuade, threaten, promise, makes no discriminations, has no conceivable failures, closes nothing, refuses nothing, shuts none out. Each of us inevitable, each of us limitless, each of us with his or her right upon the earth. Here the friliest leaves of me and yet my strongest lasting, here I shade and hide my thoughts, I myself do not expose them, and yet they expose me more than all my other poems. I do not ask the wounded person how he feels, I myself become the wounded person. I sound my barbaric yawp over the rooftops of the world. A child said, "What is the grass?" Fetching it to me with full hands, how could I answer the child? I do not know what it is any more than he. O Captain! My Captain! Our fearful trip is done. The moon gives you light, and the bugles and the drums give you music, and my heart, oh my soldiers, my veterans, my heart gives you love. The habit of giving only enhances the desire to give. Did you, too, O friend, suppose democracy was only for elections, for politics, and for a party name? I say democracy is only of use there that it may pass on and come to its flower and fruit in manners, in the highest forms of interaction between people, and their beliefs, in religion, literature, colleges and schools, democracy in all public and private life. Thought of equality as if it harmed me, giving others the same chances and rights as myself, as if it were not indispensable to my own rights that others possess the same. As soon as histories are properly told, there is no more need of romances. From this hour I ordain myself loosed of limits and imaginary lines. Resist much, obey little. The art of art is simplicity. I believe a leaf of grass is no less than the journeywork of the stars, and the pismire is equally perfect, and a grain of sand, and the egg of the wren, and the tree toad is a chef d'oeuvre for the highest, and the running blackberry would adorn the parlors of heaven, and the narrowest hinge in my hand puts to scorn all machinery, and the cow crunching with depressed head surpasses any statue, and a mouse is miracle enough to stagger sextillions of infidels. I think I could turn and live with the animals, they are so placid and self-contained, I stand and look at them long and long. They do not sweat and whine about their condition, they do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins, they do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. Not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania of owning things, not one kneels to another, nor his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Not one is responsible or industrious over the whole earth. In the faces of men and women, I see God. I know I am deathless. No doubt I have died myself 10,000 times before. I laugh at what you call dissolution, and I know the amplitude of time. This is thy hour, O soul, thy free flight into the wordless, away from books, away from art, the day erased, the lesson done, thee fully forth emerging, silent, gazing, pondering the themes thou lovest best, night, sleep, death and the stars. Has anyone supposed it lucky to be born? I hasten to inform him or her that it is just as lucky to die, and I know it. The fruition of beauty is no chance of hit or miss, it is inevitable as life. Whatever satisfies the soul is truth. To me, every hour of the light and dark is a miracle. Every cubic inch of space is a miracle. Love the earth and sun and animals, despise riches, give alms to everyone that asks, stand up for the stupid and crazy, devote your income and labor to others. And your very flesh shall be a great poem. A writer can do nothing for men more necessary, satisfying, than just simply to reveal to them the infinite possibility of their own souls. Not I, not anyone else, can travel that road for you, you must travel it for yourself. Simplicity is the glory of expression. Whoever you are, now I place my hand upon you that you may be my poem. I whisper with my lips close to your ear. I have loved many women and men, but I love none better than you. Dismiss whatever insults your soul. Without enough wilderness America will change. Democracy, with its myriad personalities and increasing sophistication, must be fibered and vitalized by regular contact with outdoor growths, animals, trees, sun warmth and free skies, or it will dwindle and pale. We were together. I forget the rest. Are you the new person drawn toward me? To begin with, take warning, I am surely far different from what you suppose. Do you suppose you will find in me your ideal? Do you think it's so easy to have me become your lover? Do you think the friendship of me would be unalloyed satisfaction? Do you think I am trusty and faithful? Do you see no further than this facade, this smooth and tolerant manner of me? Do you suppose yourself advancing on real ground toward a real heroic man? Have you no thought, O dreamer, that it may be all Maya, illusion? Either define the moment or the moment will define you. The truth is simple. If it was complicated, everyone would understand it. Happiness, not in another place but this place, not for another hour, but this hour. Be curious, not judgmental. I hate commas in the wrong places.